What's up, everybody? It's your boy Richie Casual from thecasual.co, and welcome to Unscripted, where we talk about a multitude of topics coming directly from you, the community. And we're going to continue on our how to make a street fashion brand, or how to start your brand part 2. Now, part 2 has a lot of parts to it because I don't want to go so in depth on everything. We actually broke this down into like a 6-part series, so we're going to be doing this for at least 3-4 more weeks. All right, but part 2, we're going to be covering your goals. We're going to be covering your customer profile. We're also going to be covering your financial sheet, and your product lineup. Okay, so all of these things are very, very important before you even start doing anything like production or figuring out how to make your blanks. Remember, you are in the fashion business, so we have to treat it like a business. Let's go ahead and get to it. We're gonna go ahead and start with your goals. Basically, what are your goals? Everybody knows what a goal is. Where do you want your brand to be in X amount of time or something? Well, I kind of like to break it down into 3 types of goals when it comes to street fashion or just creating your brand. There's the money-making goal, there's the passion project goal, and then there's the legacy goal. Okay, and all of these are going to require you, the person who's trying to start your brand, to be honest. First up, you have your money making goal. This is just, I want to start a brand because I want to make money. I think that it's a viable way to make money, and if I have dope designs, people are just going to buy them. That's okay. If you want to make a brand like that, that's fine. Just keep in mind that it is a make or break situation. Once you make the money, then if you want to continue doing it, you're going to have to end up making that a business anyway. Or if you just want to give it a one shot and just make an influx of cash in a short amount of time, you could do that too, but you're gonna have to attach yourself to something that's already out there, maybe a pop culture reference, maybe an internet meme, or maybe you just have to be so quick with your design. So it's not gonna be well thought out and well planned, which means that philosophy, what we did back in part 1, really doesn't mean as much. I typically tell people, if you're trying to get into the fashion brand game, you don't wanna go into the money making area, which means that you're not even thinking about production right now. You're not even thinking about what I need to print on or anything like that. And we'll cover that a little bit later. But next, we have a passion project. A passion project is a little bit better for making a brand than simply just wanting to make it for money. Although with a passion project, you're not actually concentrating on money, and you end up losing money a lot in the long run if you don't know how to navigate the waters of making your own brand. This is actually rare when it comes to street fashion brands. Not a lot of people do this because it requires you to learn a lot. Most passion projects are by people who want to have creative control over almost every aspect of the design process of their brand. So they really want to be hands-on with their project because it's all about, you know, them expressing creative identity. And then we have legacy, and this is where we talk about the process of making your own brand and what you should do for your goals. All right, so the very first thing with a legacy brand is that you're actually you're threading the needle between passion and money making, because now you have adjusted your thought process into, I want to make a brand, but I know I'm in the fashion business. This is the one thing that I think a lot of young people make the mistake of doing. They forget that once you start making a brand, you are in the fashion business. You're no longer in just the creation business anymore. You're in the fashion business. So you have to treat it like a business, which means that you need business aspects of your brand to make sure that it is solidified and it stands the test of time. It is future proof, right? So you have to make realistic goals as you go along with your brand. So write down your goals. It's, you know, most of the advice that I can give you is always like, write down something, make sure that you stick to it. If the plan deviates a little bit, learn how to adapt. Basically, have a goal. So let's go on to creating that customer profile, because that's another very, very important thing in starting your own brand. All right, so customer profile, that is a little bit different. Now, I know a lot of you out there have probably heard the term demographic. Now that's a marketing term that means the general people that are going to be buying your brand. But that is different from a customer profile. Basically, you want to just create a small little short story of the ideal person that is going to be about your brand. And the reason why you're going to do that is because it attributes to the voice of your brand. You can reach that person by speaking in their language. When you create a customer profile, you can kind of hone in on what that actual person might like. And that goes right into the most important aspect of creating a street fashion brand, and that is the lifestyle of your brand. Because if you create a customer profile, you know what the lifestyle is. You could start breaking it down, attention to detail, because you have a customer profile, and really direct your targeting to that group. Once you get that lifestyle, you understand I only have to have these group of people and they will spread it for me, because once I have this core niche market, it's one thing that we learn in Japan is that you don't need everybody to buy your brand. You need people who are in this group to like it, because if they like it, then it's viable as a style. So there's this thing that we use in marketing that you should know right now. It's called Rogers Innovation Bell Curve. Basically, it's this bell curve that goes from innovators. I'll probably put it on the screen right now so you can see it. It starts from innovators, and in fashion, this is trendsetters, to early adopters, to early majority, late majority, and laggards. Your job as a brand or a person who's starting a brand is to get the trendsetters and the early adopters. This is your core group. If you can target them, it's easy to talk to one person. It's hard to talk to a lot of people. And in the age of social media, this is what a lot of brands are trying to do. They go ahead and get on Instagram, they buy a whole bunch of followers, they buy a whole bunch of likes, and pretend that their brand is bigger than what it is. And then 2 years or a year or 6 months from now, I never hear from that brand again. If you put faith into that small group, I guarantee you start selling your products, and you don't have to have a big product lineup. So basically, write down the story of your customer profile, understand what the lifestyle is, find that lifestyle, be a part of that lifestyle, and make yourself known in that lifestyle before you even start making any kind of product, because they will inspire you to make the products that you will eventually be making. Every single fashion designer on the planet needs inspiration from somewhere, and most of that inspiration comes from their surrounding world. So real quick, the next thing that you really want to do is you're kind of getting ahead, but it's really pays to have a financial sheet. Your financial sheet is basically a list of all of your expenses, from the back end of your business to the front end of your business to the product lineup. If you don't have a financial sheet, or if you don't know how to use money and you're trying to start a brand and you're just trying to start with just a store, make some designs, and then done, your brand is gonna fail. It's gonna fail because you don't know where your money is going. Get ahead of the game. You're not gonna have too many expenses right now, but say you get a designer, you're gonna need that soon. So you're gonna wanna go ahead and make that like right now, all right? So make a financial sheet, know where your expenses are, see how much it's gonna cost, and then you'll be good. And the final part of this is making your product lineup. Now, this is where, you're getting into the fun parts, but you wanna go ahead and make a lineup of what you actually want to make. And if you did the philosophy and you made your customer profile, you can actually gear your product lineup to the actual lifestyle that you're targeting with your customer profile. You can have your primary products, the products that you ideally want to make, and then you can have your secondary products, which are usually products that are entry point items. You don't have to start with t-shirts. You really don't. I mean, it's gonna be harder to produce the things that you want to produce at any moment, but say you want to make hats, then go for hats. Say you want to make cashmere sweaters, then go for cashmere sweaters. Don't settle, is what I'm saying. And the only way to actually know what it is that you want to make is by creating a customer profile, being honest with yourself, creating a financial sheet, knowing how much things are going to cost, and then saying, you know what, I don't feel like making t-shirts. I feel like making cashmere sweatshirts. That is better than just starting with a t-shirt brand. Now, if I say cashmere, you're automatically thinking, oh, that's expensive, I'm not gonna be able to afford it. It's not about being able to afford it. It's about creating what you want to create. If you made one cashmere sweater, you can do a lookbook easily, right? And then you could fill out the rest of your lineup with entry point items. You don't have to make everything up front. You can actually launch a brand with 3 products and a whole bunch of entry point items, you know, because you can hone in on the people that you can hone in on your niche market, on your lifestyle, and those people will buy it. Would you rather have 10,000 people who are marginally interested in your brand that may or may not buy something, or would you like to have 1,000 people that will definitely buy something? Or 500 people that will definitely buy something? I will take 500 people that will definitely buy something every time I drop it over 10,000 people who are marginally interested any day, because those 500 people or those 1,000 people are down for my brand as long as I keep on making stuff, and it's gonna sell out every time. That creates hype around your brand. Hone in on that initial market, and if they buy it and they keep on buying it, then you create this buzz around your brand. It's like, yo man, I guess this brand is actually kind of dope because it's always sold out. Ding. So that's why you want to create a product lineup, and that's why you want to have a great customer profile. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of Q&A. Some of these questions might be about doing the brand thing, and some of these just might be random questions. I'm gonna go ahead and pick 3. So Darnell Jones asks, hey Reggie, can you make a video on developing a personal style? I can actually ask the guys if we could do that. We don't typically like telling people to what to buy. We don't like really doing, you know, hey, you should buy this to do this style. We really preach, you know, style is the canvas of you. But just keep in mind, developing your own style has a lot to do with embracing what you already like. Go ahead and make it sound, make it right, and make it fit, and be confident in what you like. A lot of people say wear what you like. I tend to go a little bit further and say be confident in what you like. Not just clothes, be confident in what you like and go from there. That's how you develop a personal style. But we'll actually make a video on this so you guys can you know, kind of develop it a little bit easier. All right, so we got another question. I don't know how to say this name. Is Asia Kokayi? I'm sorry. It says, can you make the next part be about starting designing your clothing or learning how to design clothing? We can tell you about how to make your clothes or learning how to design, but really, I know a lot of you guys out there just really want people to tell you what to do. But you know, there's a ton of books out there. You guys, I know this new generation of people who want to start things, there's no shortcut to these things. I don't want to be like a preacher or anything like that, like tell you, you know, I don't want to preach to you, but really you got to read. All right, start reading again. Not every video is going to tell you every step of the way. You got to start getting, you know, documentation, start looking at fashion a lot more. A piano player doesn't become a piano player simply by looking at the keyboard or looking at the piano keys. He plays other people's music a lot. So it's very important that you know, study the classics, study people who came before you and see how they did it, and look at their collections. That's the first step of becoming a better designer. I have another question here, it's right below that, and I thought it was really good. I'm young and I'm trying to start a brand. I'm literally broke, and I have some crazy ideas. What do I do? Well, the first thing that you want to learn as a young person is not getting your ideas out there so fast. It's learning how to put your ideas on paper. Go ahead and write something down. Put your ideas on paper. You don't need money to put your ideas on paper. You don't, you know, like put them on paper. What are you influenced by? Do the 20-20-20, the philosophy. And the other thing that you need to learn as a young person is to, in the West, we are victims of this all the time, is stop being so individualistic. Become a better team player and team builder. That's what all good entrepreneurs are. They know how to encourage, motivate, and create teams. People that can do things that they can't do. As good as you are, as smart as you are, you cannot do everything alone. I mean, even Mark Zuckerberg needed a team of people doing different things. They didn't have any money, but they had one person who did have some money and he invested in it, right? So that's why you want to go ahead and learn how to have a strong group of trusted people who do a good job. So a good team builder knows, hey, he's going to be really good and I'm going to pressure him to even get better than what he is. And we're going to have this idea together. So learn how to team build. That's the second thing. All right. So put your ideas on paper, learn how to team build, and then go from there. And I guarantee you, as you continue to go along, you'll find out the answers to that. But we'll cover a little bit more in the how to start your own brand, so it's not so fuzzy when it comes to team building or learning how to, delegate and things like that. All right, so that's it for Unscripted this week. Next week, we're going to be doing part 3, which is finally we're going to get into branding, designing, and we're actually going to do a little bit of initial marketing. So we're finally going to get into that part where you're actually designing the brand, which is really cool. I know you guys have been waiting for that for a little bit of time. So let me go ahead and do that next week. Please ask questions after this video, in the comment section and all that. Things that you want me to answer, and I'll go ahead and answer those. They can be in-depth questions. Just try to keep it to something that, I don't have to rant on. Yeah, anyway, ask any question you want. Anyway, keep it locked here for all of your information on international street fashion and culture and Unscripted. And keep it casual, as always, Okay, we're out of here. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. We're gone. See you guys in a minute.